Hi guys! So today I'm working on inking this piece, and I've already done a video on the sketching of this one, so I'll link to that one down below. But we can go ahead and get started on this one. So I don't know if you've noticed, but right away on this video, and right away as I started inking this picture, I had a giant drop of ink fall from my pen onto my picture. And it was really bad, because usually when I start inking, I will start at the face because that's the thing that I'm most excited about doing. I really like faces, and that's kind of the central point of most of my pictures. So when this drop of ink fell right on her face, I was pretty traumatized because it took me a long time to transfer the picture over. So my process for this is that I have a pretty refined sketch, and then I use a light box, and then I draw over it, but I added a lot of details on this one after that wasn't included in the sketch. So it took me a long time to get the pencil work onto this piece, so I was really frustrated because I have had this happen on every single one of my watercolor pieces that I've used ink, where like this whole drop of ink fell down. And for the other ones, almost all of them happened to have been in a very dark area, so I could easily camouflage it. This one I could not. But Lee actually had an amazing idea. He saved my life, but what he did was he took this really sharp razor and just like cut the very surface of the paper off and cut out that ink, and it was ingenious because I never would have thought of that. And I just want to kind of point that out, that I thought that was pretty interesting of a way to work through this horrible issue that I had. And yeah, like I said, like that's something that I wouldn't have thought of before, but I like knowing that as horrible as that might sound, that is an option, because I've been having this issue of ink dropping out of my pen a lot. And I think until I get to the point where I'm really super comfortable with pen and ink, it's going to happen again, and it's going to be in a horribly inopportune place like it was this time. So I'm kind of glad that I figured that out. It actually painted over really well. That I didn't figure it out. Lee figured it out. I have to give credit where credit is due, but I am glad to know. And it did take the texture out of the paper, so it was really smooth, but when I painted over it, it didn't actually show any imperfections or anything. It wasn't it didn't change the paint quality, so I was actually really excited about that. But I want to go ahead and talk first about my biggest horrible incident with this picture, and I think that I kind of cursed the rest of the inking for this picture. So I'll start off with saying that while my experience with this piece was less than perfect as far as doing the inking, I am not in any way like frustrated as a whole with dip pens or with ink or anything like that. I really liked this piece and I liked working on it, but the actual inking process was kind of frustrating for this one. In the last one that I did that I actually forgot to record, and in that one, for about the first half, I felt a little bit like I was struggling with the pen and it wasn't quite working as smoothly. But then about halfway through, it kind of clicked, and then everything was working well, and I was able to make the types of lines that I wanted, and it was just, the ink was flowing perfectly. So by the time I was ending with that piece, I just felt really comfortable, and like I knew this nib and I knew how that worked and how to get the lines. So I felt really good about that. So when I started this piece, I thought, great, I'm learning. I am able to just do this one and enjoy it now. But I did not. Well, not to say that I didn't enjoy it, but it didn't exactly go smoothly. So when I was using the nib on this one, the issue was that it was fully loaded with ink, but it like would not flow out of the pen. And I know that I'll definitely learn what the issues are so that I can counteract them and see what like minute little things that I'm doing wrong are so that I can change those. So I know this is just part of the process of learning a relatively difficult new medium, and I accept that. But I feel like working on the inking for this piece kind of put me back in my place, or it was like a reminder that there is a lot more learning that I need to do with nibs and pens and this kind of inking process. And I think that's good. I like knowing that I have kind of this struggle with and to learn, because I feel like I've kind of I feel fairly confident in the different types of mediums that I use now, which really is almost primarily digital. So I enjoy being able to have something that I know that I'm learning. And when I struggle, I'm still progressing because when I'm fighting against it, I'm learning what does work and what doesn't work. So I feel really good about that. I'm excited to keep working on it so that there will be a point where I can just get out my ink, get out my pen, and it's just gonna work beautifully and I'm gonna be able to handle it well. So I'm looking forward to that point, and I'm okay with the journey and I'm okay with like these setbacks. I think that it's probably one of those things where the more I practice, the less pieces I'll have like this where I feel like I'm struggling with it, and the more pieces I have where it works until there's a point where almost everything works. And yeah, so I'm excited to keep practicing and learning and really figuring the nib out. I think that that's pretty exciting. It's going to be a long but very fun journey to get to a point where I feel really comfortable inking this way. Anyways, so while I have been relatively negative in this video, I do want to stress that I don't feel negative about this piece or about pen and ink. I just had kind of a rough journey with this one, but I feel really good about it because even though I kind of fought with it, in the end, I really did like the product that I had. I feel good about it, so I still felt good about it, and I felt like I was able to conquer this challenge, and I know that the more that I work with it, the more I'll be able to enjoy it. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I know that this was kind of a big learning experience for me, and yeah, I like the fact that I know at the end of this piece I absolutely learned something, and I feel like I'm getting closer. So that's exciting. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can catch all my future art videos. And until then, I'll see you at my next one. Bye!